Welcome to another episode of WeDriveHealth, where we are steering health forward. I am here with the lovely Melissa Fonteles. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
So Melissa is one of the MPs at WeDriveHealth, and I've been hearing good things about you. Is it true or lies?
Yes, definitely. I'm amazing if I do say so myself.
Yes, if you do say so yourself. So how are you feeling today? And be honest.
I'm good.
You good?
A little nervous. I don't do cameras, but here I am.
That's it. We got to make ourselves uncomfortable in 2024 into the 2025. There we go. So tell me, what inspired you to pursue a career as an MP?
So I was a nurse for like 10 years before I decided to go get my master's.
Mm-hmm.
I loved being at the bedside and taking care of people, but I wanted to learn more about how the body works and why it works the way it does and how to treat it. So I didn't want to just be taking orders from doctors. I'm like, I want to make the decisions.
Oh, okay. So
I want to be in charge.
Okay.
And I felt like I had the experience to do so. So I figured go to grad school, learn some more, expand on what you already know.
Got it. So,
be a boss in the future.
Oh, talk that talk now. Talk that talk. So can you share a defining moment in your journey that solidified your decision to become an MP?
Not necessarily. I guess my whole career. I mean, working in the emergency department, which is where my base it really is. I admired like the NPs and PAs that I worked with and how confident and knowledgeable they were, and I wanted to be in that kind of role. I felt like it was a highly respected role, so I wanted to be in that same kind of role instead of just being the nurse at the bedside, which is also great. I love being a nurse as well. But yeah, I think just working with them for so many years and seeing how they work and how patients interact with them, I wanted to be like that.
Got it. So how did your role as an MP evolve?
So I started off, it was not easy to get a job as a brand new NP, no matter how much years of nursing I had under my belt. So I started off doing pre-surgical testing at St. Francis. Didn't really like it. I felt like I was very stagnant in that job. I wasn't learning anything. I was just
there. Yeah,
just doing head-to-toe assessments and writing up stuff. Any questions, I had to go refer it to the doctor, and I'm like, well, I want to know what happens with this. Like, I don't want to just give it to the doctor and not know what happens. So I felt like I wasn't really learning anything, and that's not why I went into the NP career. So then I went to urgent care, which was similar to the ER type experience, acute conditions. I wanted to learn how to suture and splint and all that stuff, so it was very cool learning how to do that and then doing it, and being that person that people came to for any acute conditions. So it was really cool being in that role for a couple of years. And then Dr. Nate came along and asked me if I wanted to join him. So
good old Dr. Nate.
So I shadowed him for a couple of days at his office, and I loved it. So
nice.
I loved where he was going with it.
So tell me about your experience with WeDriveHealth.
For the last
only the good stuff. Only the good stuff.
Only good stuff. There's only good stuff. For the last 6 months or so, that's how long I've been with WeDriveHealth. It's been great. I feel like we have a good relationship, rapport with each other as staff. It's a good environment to work. I feel happy going to work, which is not common for most people. And the patients, I really like our group of patients. Our demographic is like the younger population who are really trying to take charge of their health and try not to be where their grandparents are and be sick like them. And we want to prevent that as well. So I like that we're in charge of that and trying to help them get to that point. It's still a learning experience, actually, because urgent care and primary care are really opposite, believe it or not. So learning how to take care of people in that primary care, well, relearning, because I learned that in school, but learning it clinically has been an experience as well. So I'm still learning from Dr. Nate, still learning a lot that I didn't realize I needed to learn. So
yeah, because
still learning experience.
Like you said, it's a whole new
different
world.
Yeah, just a different way to look at things,
Right. So what does a typical day in the practice look like?
It could be a variety of things. We have so many services that we provide. So we do IV therapy. So people that need like an energy boost or are hungover and just need a little perk in the next day.
People come in hungover?
Yes, they do. We do trigger point injections for people with acute back pain or knee pain. We do regular physicals. So a routine physical, do some lab work, make sure, your numbers are good as far as cholesterol and diabetes and all that stuff goes. So it's a variety of all those two different type of patients throughout the day, which I like. It kind of lets me not be bored at work.
Yeah.
What else? And of course, we have the other services that we have with our collaborators, the acupuncturist and the massage therapist. We have the psych NPs that we refer people to. So, and it is a very big need. So a lot of our patients don't realize that it's such a good resource. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to be able to inform them about different ways to manage their mental health and then have the extra resource there if they wanted to see a specialist about it. But yeah, it's a variety of different types of patients that we see throughout the day.
So a question for you. So like when somebody comes in with like they're very heavy and you can just tell like they have a lot on your chest, like how do you go through that process? Because I spoke to Dr. Nate about it, but I'm curious like your process.
I've seen a lot of people come in, especially the younger people, because they don't go to the doctor's offices. Mm-hmm. They come in super nervous, anxious, worried about what we might find. And
right.
So I try to, be cool with them. Like just make regular conversation, see what their social life is like, see what their day-to-day life is like, and it helps loosen them up when they realize, like, I'm just like you. We're both human. We both have things that we want to work on. And I feel like that helps them loosen up when they realize, okay, this is not like a doctor. I'm not just a number here. I'm actually a person. They want to get to know me and know who I am. So they feel like, okay, I can tell you more about myself now. So I've seen it a few times with patients that are like that heavy. You could tell they're stressed out, and as we're talking to them, they just loosen up.
Nice.
And tell us all the things that we want to know.
Can you share a memorable moment, like, or experience or interaction that enforced your passion for being a NP?
I'm gonna have to revert back to urgent care for this one.
Yeah.
So urgent care, it's a revolving door pretty much. And I was only there like twice a week. And there was other providers there that were there more often, but there were people that would like specifically call and asking like, hey, is Melissa here today? Like, I want to see her. Mm-hmm. I had one mom who came and brought her kid. She had a rash of some sort. It was my first time diagnosing it. I never, like, rashes are not my thing, but I was like sure it was this thing. I'm like, oh no, I know what this is. And I treated her. And obviously with urgent care, it's not like primary care. You don't get to follow up with people as often as you would like. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know how it went. I didn't know if it worked. I didn't know if she got better. But the mom came like a week and a half later with another kid for something else. And when I walked in the room, she's like, oh, I'm so glad it's you. You helped my daughter. She got so much better. Thank you so much. Like, I was hoping it was you today. Like, it made me feel proud. Like, oh, okay, nice. Yes, I did the right thing. Like, she was happy to see me again. So that kind of made me realize, like, maybe I should do primary care, because I do want to see how people evolve when we treat them. I want to see how it works. If it doesn't work, I want to adjust it if we need to. So it's nice to see the progress with people. So
nice.
Primary care. I didn't want to do it at first, but then I realized, you know what? That's probably what I should do. So I was glad when Dr. Nate came over with this offer. So
what made you? Was that particular experience that made you want to do it, or like
want to do primary care?
Primary care.
That was one in particular that I can remember, but there were similar ones like that same like. Seeing how what you did worked for somebody, mm-hmm. and them being so happy about it, like seeing that was very rewarding. So
got it.
Yeah.
So my question, how do you balance the clinical and administrative aspect of your role?
Do I though?
72 hours. That's an inside joke. 72 hours. That's an inside joke.
I don't balance it well. I mean, I've been getting better. So again, primary care is different than urgent care. So our documentation, our charting, our billing, all that stuff I didn't have to do before, I'm learning to do now. Mm-hmm. And it's been a process. So in the beginning, I really was terrible with my charts. I was behind and everything. Still am a little bit. But it's better. It's not as many charts. Yeah. I'm learning how to document, how to bill certain things, and even Dr. Nate has told me, okay, I've noticed an improvement in your charting and your billing and stuff like that. So it's nice to get finally comfortable. But we're still busy, and I still have other responsibilities, so it's still hard to manage it, but I'm getting there. I feel like by the beginning of next year, I'll be where I should be. I'll be 72 hours.
72 hours, there we go. So how do you stay up to date with the advancement of medicine and patient care? So
Medscape is like one of the resources that I was introduced to in grad school. It's pretty much sends articles all the time about research topics that have been recently released. It's a good resource for medications and new medications that are coming out. New adverse effects that have been found. Like, it pretty much sends multiple emails throughout the week that kind of update you. So once you see a topic that you're interested in, you just open that email and read the papers. And Dr. Nate gave me another website that he has an account with that he told me like to go on.
Check on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what skills do you think are essential for someone aspiring to be an NP?
It depends what kind. So, I mean, primary care, any part of NP world, patient communication and being able to talk to people is number one. I feel like if no one is comfortable with you, or they feel like you're not pleasant and you're not somebody that they want to open up to, it's not going to work out.
I mean, just like, as a nurse, that's like
standard, that's like, but there's nurses, there's NPs out there too that I'm like,
that are not good nurses. You're just like, how did you graduate again?
Exactly. So that's number one. I feel like even nursing world, like you said, there's people that have been fired by patients because they're like, I don't want that nurse in my room. Like, I don't like their demeanor. I don't like how they talk to me. And it matters. It really does make a difference. And of course, there's hands-on skills. Like for us, most providers don't put IVs or draw blood and stuff like that if you go to other doctors' offices. But us being on our background as nurses, like we have that skill. So it's nice to be able to add that to our rapport. If IMAs have trouble with drawing blood, it's nice to jump in and be able to help them with that. Staying up to date on your research, of course, is a big thing. I didn't realize how important that was, again, until I got further into my NP career. And I'm like, I got to keep on top of these things so I can actually continue educating our patients. I think that's the biggest thing. Like communication and being that friendly person that people actually want to talk to is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, communication is big with any career, but definitely with nursing, because you just like, especially as an NP, like people are literally telling you some of the stuff they don't want to tell other people. Even their spouses, they won't even let them know. So you really just got to be that listening ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any mentors or colleagues that like significantly impacted your career?
No, I mean recently, Dr. Nate. I love Nate. I love working with him side by side and like leaning, like bouncing ideas off of him. Talking to him about patients. I feel like he's like just a sponge of information, and it's like nice. I worked with him as a nurse back in the days. That's how we first originally met. So of course back then, even then, I knew he was like smart or whatever, but now like seeing him in that provider position and owning this business, it's crazy seeing him in this role. So he's like been my aspiration.
Go-to guy.
Yeah. I'm like, I even told him like, I want to be like you one day, yo. Like I want to grow up and be like Dr. Nate. So it's nice. It's nice working with him side by side, and he's my, as far as I'm concerned, he's my mentor.
The only thing with Nate that show I have is he breaks everything. Like dude,
his butterfingers.
Yo, it's crazy. Like he just randomly just kicking stuff. I'm like, bro, what's wrong? Like, please just don't. Guy too. Just don't go into surgery. Whatever you do, don't go into surgery.
He's such a guy. He has that strong grip for everything. All the patients say that, but hey, it works.
So, what advice would you have for a nurse considering the NP path?
Take your time, because I've seen a lot of nurses who just graduate and get a job, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to grad school." It's like, you kind of need a base. Like, you need that background, clinical experience for you to actually expound on when you go to grad school, because becoming a nurse, getting a job, and immediately jump into grad school where you're going to be actually providing like the decision maker for things, it's not really helpful if you don't really have any experience actually taking care of patients and giving those medications and learning more about those diseases. School doesn't teach you everything. Really, most of our knowledge comes out of our clinical experience. Yeah. So
the best experience is clinical experience.
Don't rush. You have time. Don't rush to grad school just because you want to be an NP. Like, you actually have to know what you're doing. There's a lot of unsafe providers out there, so yeah.
Unsafe providers, yeah, you said unsafe providers. So what challenges have you faced in maintaining like a work-life balance?
Well, I have 2 kids and a husband, so those responsibilities also go into play, especially with this primary care thing. I originally went to urgent care because I'm like, I want to do my job, not have to follow up with people and just go home and not have to do anything like that. And I know primary care, 99% of the time, you're taking work home, you're charting at home, you're doing follow-ups with your patient. I didn't want to do any of that because I'm like, I need time with my kids. So now I'm dealing with that. But it's not a negative thing. Like, I am taking work home, but it's been hard trying to keep up with work and kids' activities and things like that. But again, I'm working on it. It's only been a few months, so I'm learning how to balance that stuff.
So how do you schedule it? Let's just say like you like, all right, I'm gonna put the kids to sleep at this time, husband, da da da. Like, have you like actually sat down and managed it out, or is it just like I'll just figure it out?
It depends on the day. I've tried. Like my kids do not like go to sleep at 8:00. Like all these other people say their kids go to. Like they go to sleep 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending on the day. They have after school activities. They have to make dinner. Like there's things that happen that make us go to sleep late. But there's been some days where if I have the energy, I try to stay up after they go to sleep and just chart or whatever I have to do afterwards. But that doesn't last long because I usually fall asleep. So I've been trying to do that though.
Been knocked out?
Yo, for real. That's exactly what be happening. But yeah, that's been a struggle to manage that. But I've been trying to do that, like stay up later and just chart afterwards because the middle of the day is really my busiest time.
Right.
And then I've gotten better at actually charting in real time, like charting in the office while I'm in the office. That's the time that I have, the free time that I have without responsibilities at home. So I've been better at actually charting the same day when I see patients. And then whatever's left over, I try to work on at home. My days off are not really days off because I have other jobs. So I've been balancing that as well. So yeah.
So you out here just balling in these
Not
streets.
really. You know, we got some student loans to pay off. You know, we got that to pay off. But yeah, one day I'll be balling.
Okay.
So right now I'm just hustling to pay off my debt.
Were you the typical nurse that was just floating around, just buying Benzes?
No. I was responsible. But I wasn't the nurse that had multiple jobs, though. I had that one job, worked 3 days a week. I was like, oh, I'm chilling for 4 days a week. But I probably should have, at that time, had multiple jobs and then paid off my stuff.
Hustle. Yeah.
So that now I wouldn't have to do that. But It is what it is.
So what's one thing that you wish you had known when you first started in this field?
That's a good question.
Maybe, like you said, like start a little earlier. Maybe because you were a nurse for how long?
12 years.
So maybe you could have, would you have started an MP a little earlier, or you feel like that was like the perfect time?
No, I feel like it was a good time. Because if I started earlier, then had kids, I feel like I still would have been like stressed out with a new baby and still learning how to be an NP. I feel like I should have learned better time management in general. I feel like I've always been bad with time management, and I feel like if I taught myself how to manage my time better before going into this field, I would have transitioned better and adjusted better. I already knew that you're always going to be learning. Like that's something that I've always been told, and that's true. But yeah, I feel like my biggest struggle right now is time management. But yeah.
So what have you done to get better? Like you taking a course, YouTube University?
I haven't done any of that. I've just been trying to figure it out on my own. But that's a good idea, actually. I probably should.
Mel's tell is anytime that Mel like touches the air, she lying. Anytime she lying, don't believe it. You lying. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Like, yeah.
Like you don't know me.
You don't know me. All right. So last question. What is your goals or aspiration for the next phase of your career?
To become more comfortable in this role here, to take more of a leadership role.
Yeah, because you was just talking boss talk just in the beginning.
That's the goal. The goal is to become a boss. But I'm slowly getting there. But I'm hoping 2025 is my year to
don't hope.
Get comfortable.
You just gotta do it.
Yes, the goal is next year is the time to be comfortable, take that leadership role, take on more responsibilities at WeDriveHealth. It helped out Nate transition out to where he wants to be, where he wants to franchise and open other locations and stuff like that.
Dr. Nate got some big plans.
I know
for
he does.
WeDriveHealth.
I know he does. So I want to help with that. I want to help him.
He's been keeping it a secret. So I guess you guys will find out like the rest of us. All right. Anything else? Any final words to your fans?
To your fans. I ain't got no fans. I have patients who love me. That's it.
Well, that's a final word. There we go. All right. So thank you so much, and as always, live long and prosper.
Scene 1, take 3. Action.